My name is Tamara Rhodes. I did my presentation over Alfred Binet and intelligence testing and the influences that his testing methods had on future development of morality testing and development of school programs for disabled children. Alfred Binet developed his intelligence testing because in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, children with learning difficulties were separated into three different categories. Idiots were severely handicapped and unable to care for themselves at all. Imbeciles were a little more capable of caring for themselves, but they were not independent. Debiles were capable of learning, but not in a normal classroom, so they still needed help. Alfred Binet felt that this was wrong and that there was a better way to diagnose the children. So he developed his first intelligence test based upon his many years of research. Whenever they were done testing, they had 58 different versions with different levels of difficulty for range in ages from 3 to 13. One of the biggest things that he influenced was from a social view. He helped these children not be as separated away from society whenever he developed his intelligence testing, and it came up with better ways to take care of these children and diagnose their disabilities. He influenced development of future testing that included intelligence testing, morality test, and he also influenced the development of programs for these disabled children in elementary schools in like France and other countries. Alfred Binet said that intelligence was multifaceted. He said that it was composed of a variety of skills and that our mental levels could increase with training, but his tests were only useful in identifying weaker children. So that was a bit of I guess you could say, a hindrance in the development of the programs and stuff like that, but he still made very large contributions to ways to help these children who were disabled and basically just being put to the side and not cared about by the people in the school systems. In the article of history on American morality research, we see that Binet's testing influenced the development of the morality test. For the last 40 years, development within psychology has been associated with theoretical constructions and testing procedures, and Binet's were included in this. As we saw before, Binet felt it was wrong to judge these disabled kids, and the relation between that and the development of morality testing solves the issue of us not knowing how morality developed and how it's applied to judgment. So that's why I felt like this was pretty related, because we see, kids judge and they see these disabled children, and Binet was really against that. And so when they developed these morality tests and used his methods, I saw that it kind of went with what he believed, and it made me ask the question of, where we would be at today socially if not for Binet's testing and his influence on the development of these other tests. Since we were able to see what works and what doesn't whenever it comes to the development of morality, it gives us even better ways to deal with children who are disabled and then those who are not disabled. In Making Up Intelligence Scales, we read about how Binet and his testing methods influenced the development of special education programs in France and Italy. In France and Italy, in this time period of 1905 and after, they started using intelligence scales to measure the intelligence of these disabled children and those who needed special education, which then led to them developing the special education and training programs, which enabled the staff of the school and the teachers to better be able to handle these children and know how to interact with them and teach them and be effective with them. It fueled a movement that led to better views of people with disabilities, not only children, but older adults as well. And we now have better special education programs in our schools today because of the starting of these programs being developed. So we have just seen a lot of improvement over the years in these special education programs, which has enabled us to help these children and help their learning abilities. In conclusion, I just want to say that I really think that Binet and his intelligence testing fueled a really good thing for our people and disabled children in schools. He looked into the face of every person that had ever called a child an imbecile, and he told them that they were wrong, and he told them that there were other ways to do things, and he told them that there were better ways to do things. He led to them being with better diagnosis. He showed even the doctors that they were wrong in what they were saying about these children. And I feel like he just really helped us as a society as a whole to accept these children more completely. And I don't think that we could ever have enough gratitude towards him for what he did and what he fueled for us. He gave us a way to accept these kids and take care of these kids, and a way for parents of these children to feel more comfortable with their kids being in school. You know, for a child to be called an imbecile or debile or an idiot is just really wrong. So morally, he did a good thing too. I think that we can all appreciate what he did and what it did to help our society as a whole.